Hi, I'm Paul Johnston and welcome to Two Wheels, and on this week's show I chat with a man from CCM who gives us some information about Supermoto track days. Jeff chats with a man who knows all about grey imports. But first, if you're looking to get onto Two Wheels this summer and you're in the market for a 600cc bike, then this may give you a few ideas. There are more 600cc bikes sold today than in any other sector of the bike market, which probably explains why there's more variety in this particular area than anywhere else. So let's take a look at some of the street bikes available today. Way back in 1995, Suzuki introduced the Bandit, a smart-looking retro-style 600. The Bandit was criticised at first and was often referred to as a parts bin special. The fact is, it was cheaper than any of the competition. OK, it did use parts we'd all seen before on other Suzukis, including the Moto, which was lifted from their RF 600, but it all worked well together, and the Bandit very quickly gained a healthy following and developed a reputation for being a hooligan tool. 600cc's, around 80 brake horsepower and a top speed in excess of 120 miles an hour certainly adds up to a whole lot of fun. Would you believe some of the early Bandits are now selling in second-hand showrooms for less than £2,000? While Suzuki were enjoying booming sales of their Bandit, Yamaha decided that they would like a share of the action. So in 1998 we were presented with the Fazer, another 600cc street bike, and again using parts previously seen on other Yamaha machines, not least the engine, which is the same motor as Yamaha use in their Thundercat, and that proved to be one of the best selling points for the Fazer. Whilst the Thundercat has never really set the world on fire as a true sports bike, it's always had a good reputation for its engine. Lots of low-down torque and plenty of mid-range power when compared to some of the other 600 units around today. The Fazer sports a small half fairing but keeps the high and fairly wide handlebar setup, which gives a nice upright riding position and also helps to retain the aggressive image which has become so popular on this style of bike. An early Fazer could now be yours for well under £3,000. Having watched the success of Suzuki and Yamaha, it was only a matter of time before Honda launched their middleweight street bike. It was of course the Hornet. Nothing very new in the styling department, the same kind of semi-retro feel we'd all now become used to. Big single headlamp up front and again wide handlebars to help with this aggressive feel. All of that combined with a fairly sporty back end with the 4x1 exhaust system exiting high up at the rear made for a smart looking machine. Honda followed the lead of other manufacturers in using a well-proven power unit. The Hornet boasts the same engine as Honda's top-selling CBR 600, although it doesn't quite produce the same kind of performance. Some people would say it's been detuned. Honda would prefer us to call it retuned to give more mid-range and make it a more usable kind of power. A new Hornet today will cost you over £4,500 on the road, but if you can find an early example, then expect to pay around £2,500. Now, if you're looking to see which is the best of this little trio, then you might be disappointed to learn that there isn't one really, because they're all very similar in both style and performance, and they'll all suit different people for different reasons. And let's be honest, if we all bought the same bike, it would be a pretty boring world, wouldn't it? If you like talking bikes, then why not join in with our bike forum? You can find it on the Men & Motors website, and here is the address. It's www.menandmotors.co.uk.
Now, denim, we often associate it with bikes, don't we? But did you realise that when Levi's stopped Tesco importing their jeans into the UK, that could have implications for the bike market? Let me explain. You see, once upon a time, if you wanted a new bike, you simply went to your local dealer and did a deal. Then about 5 or 6 years ago, a new phenomenon hit the market, the parallel dealer. There you could actually make savings, massive savings, between £2,000 and £3,000. So has this jeans ruling actually made a difference? Well, we're at DK, which is Britain's biggest parallel importer, and I'm going to ask Paul Ingram, their buyer, just that very question. Paul, are you still able to source bikes?
Yes, I mean the ruling has made little difference to us, to be honest. We were outsourcing motorcycles from Europe before, and we're still doing the same thing now.
So where do you actually get the bikes from?
Majority of European countries. I mean, we're sort of part of the EC, and we sort of use that bridge to enable supply.
Now, one thing that brings to mind is different European standards. What do you do about those?
I think we have to look at the way the motorcycles actually leave the factory in Japan and realise that there's very little difference whether a bike's destined for the German market, the Dutch market, or the UK market. And any differences that there are with any motorcycle that comes into us, we ensure that it's going out exactly as a UK specification bike should be.
Now, what about price differentials? Now the marketplace is far more competitive. Are parallels still the bargain they wear?
I think undoubtedly. I think it's always going to be and always has been a supply and demand issue. And there are definitely certain motorcycles that come through to us that enable us to be more competitive and more leading with our prices than others.
Now, what do you do about a manufacturer's warranty? Does it apply to a parallel bike?
It's still a bit of a grey area, to be honest with you, Jeff. I think rather than sort of answer specific about whether it applies or not, I'd much rather just say that the warranties that we put on all of our bikes that go out are our own warranties. We actually self-fund them. And what we try and do to sort of make it a more attractive option is to extend it out. We actually give a 3-year warranty on every new motorcycle we sell.
Now, this isn't one of those cum policies then that the buyer's actually got to pay for, is it?
No, it's not. It's our own policy. It's not a bought-in policy. We sort of took the decision that we needed to give our customers peace of mind. So we've extended the warranty out, given it 3 years, and it's, as I say, it's self-funded.
So if that isn't a problem, on a similar vein, what about official recalls?
Well, the recall side of things, to be honest, is never a problem for us. We usually get notification from our European suppliers when there is a recall, exactly the same as the UK importer would. So when we're kept up to speed, we obviously just then notify our customers and ensure all recall work is carried out.
On the question of servicing, does the buyer have to come back to you, or could he go to his local dealer?
We like them to come back to us, but they are free to go elsewhere.
And that isn't a problem?
No, it's certainly not a problem for us. And if any dealers that are out there are still worried about the servicing of parallel product, they shouldn't be. At the end of the day, it's a viable way of earning money.
Finally, I've got to ask you about resale values. Does the buyer really win in the end?
I think when you look at the initial savings they make, Jeff, and then look at the resale value when they come to sell it, yes, they are. They are going to win.
Well, thanks for that, Paul. So there we have it. The parallel importers are still here. I guess you just pays your money and you takes your choice.
Well, that's all for part one, but after the break, we'll tell you how you can get yourself on a Supermoto track day, and Wayne is out for a ride on a little scooter. Welcome back to Two Wheels. Later, we'll be telling you how you can get yourselves on a Supermoto track day. But first, if you're young and trendy, you might be in the market for a scooter. So we've sent out the not very young and only very slightly trendy Wayne to try out one of the latest models.
Well, the guys at Two Wheels, they've done it to me again, haven't they? They've given me a scooter to road test. But I'm not in the least bit bothered. Oh no, because this is a big one. I do like them big, you might say. It's only big physically, it's a long scooter and quite a low one, which is a good point for my little legs. And this is a Skyliner 125 from MBK. And those of you who are a bit sort of astute and good at bike spotting, all those anoraks out there, you may indeed notice that this is exactly the same as a Yamaha Majesty. It is in fact the same, only with a badge. It's badged engineering. So, let's talk a little bit about it. Well, I think it's very practical. It's obvious by its huge seat and its feet forward riding position and a lovely low bike that it's going to be ideal if you want to do a bit of touring, if ever you could go touring on a scooter, that is. Then, by having this screen on, which will put the draft just above my head, and these sort of shields that go around your hands, even in the cold weather, when it's raining and pretty nasty, I should imagine that will keep you dry and quite warm. But what else can I tell you about it? Well, because it's got a nice big seat, and it's got this ability to carry a nice big top box, and a nice riding position, you would indeed consider going some distance with it. It's got a 10.5 litre petrol tank, so straight away you can go a lot further than you can on most of the scooters without having to stop. You might be a little bit reluctant to travel such a distance on a scooter. You might be wary perhaps because it's something new to you, that what happens if I break down? How do I repair it? You might not indeed have the ability to repair it or any idea how to fix it. So what MBK have done is decided to give you not only a 1-year warranty but a roadside assistance plan, and they will pick you up and take you home or take you to the nearest dealer to get it repaired. Well, this 125 Skyliner was an absolute pleasure to ride. I can't sort of suggest for a minute it would be the ideal machine for nipping in and out of the traffic, because it isn't a short, stumpy scooter, it's a long, low one. But if you fancy doing a little bit more miles on a scooter, this is probably ideal. There are a few pleasantries that go with it as well if you want to do a bit of touring. I've already spoke about the large seat, and under the large seat you've got the ability to carry a whole cavernous amount of stuff. I've got my helmet and my gloves under there, and I reckon I could get all my riding gear and possibly a little more. Not only that, you don't have to go under the seat to put fuel in it. Back here is a nice secreted little fuel cover, cap cover. It just opens up, and it's got a locking cap as well. Now I know Paul's often griping about certain manufacturers who do leave an easy to remove petrol cap. The kids might just take a little bit of curiosity about that. Well, on this one it's a locking one, so you can rest assured your fuel is safe if you choose to park it overnight in a vulnerable area. I'll just stick my key back in the ignition because I'm definitely not giving this one back. I'm going to keep this one for a little longer. Overall, brakes superb, nice twin pot caliper Brembo on the front and a single piston one on the back, but that's more than good enough, that's all you need. The tyres are nice big squidgy ones. They are indeed only 12-inch wheels, but it doesn't seem to worry me, and I don't think it'll worry anybody else either. Overall, the big package, £2,800. For that, you get the machine and all the on-the-road costs, including your roadside assistance, 12 months warranty, data tagging. What more could a man ask for? So, peaceful, enjoyable touring on a scooter, 125, absolutely magic.
Now, fairly recently you may have seen me riding one of these, a Supermoto CCM R30, and I said you should have a go on a Supermoto, get yourself on a Supermoto track day. So in response to all your emails asking for more information, we've come here to the factory to meet Bob Kershaw, their worldwide sales director, to find out some more. So Bob, how long have you been running these Supermoto days now?
Oh, Paul, we've been running them for just over a year now.
Yeah, very, very, very successful. You've won an award. There's only you does it, isn't there?
Yeah, we're the only ones in the UK that do them. Obviously, Supermoto is big on the continent. We thought we'd try and give it a go over here.
Right. So I suppose it's the ultimate test ride, is it?
It is. We found with our ride-outs that the best way to prove your product and show the concept is to get some bums on seats, and that's why we did it.
Okay. So what's the format of the day then? If somebody turns up, where do they go first? Where do you do it?
Well, we do it in 3 locations. We do them in Leading, Kent. We do them at Three Sisters just down the road here in Lancashire, and also we do them up in Rowrar, up in the Lake District.
Right.
And basically the format is you turn up, if you've got gear, great. If you haven't, you can hire it from us. You get 6 sessions on track, loads of fun, come off totally knackered. I think the big thing is if you bin the bike, it only costs you 20 quid.
If you bin the bike, it costs you 20 quid?
Absolutely, yes.
Wow, now that's good.
Bargain of the century.
It's almost worth crashing, isn't it? Eh? See how much damage you could do, and it only costs you 20 quid. So what sort of people come?
Oh, all sorts really. People who are into Supermoto come for the experience. People want to learn about it and learn how to ride their Supermotos. It's quite new in the in the UK.
Yeah.
So people come and see how to really ride them properly.
Right.
We have been known to get the odd star name turn up and have a bit of fun.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So. How often do you do them? Is it a regular thing?
Yeah, we run them from sort of March through to November, most weeks during that period.
You know what everybody wants to know about these things? It must be expensive. What's it cost?
No, it's £175, and that includes your bike and, as I say, 6 sessions on track.
Very good. So there you go. So now you know all about it. Stop sending me the emails and get yourself on a Supermoto track day. I've just been flicking through a lot of these motorcycle magazines, and it's occurred to me that in every one of them there are lady bikers. There are pictures of them, there is stories about them, and I've realised that there are no lady bikers on our show. And we want to change all of that. We want you lady bikers to get in touch with us here at Two Wheels, and there are a couple of ways you can do it. Firstly, you can write to us at this address: Two Wheels, Men and Motors, Granada, TV, Key Street, Manchester, M69EA, or alternatively, you can send us an email. There's the email address, twowheels@granadamedia.com. Tell us all about yourselves. Tell us what's good and bad in the world of biking for you lady bikers. And who knows, instead of having your picture in a magazine, you might get your face and your bike on the telly.
Now, are you like me? Do you like things that are just that little bit different so you stand out from the crowd? Well, I do. And if you are the type of person who definitely wants to look different when you go to the bike club and stick your helmet on the table and show it off because it's particularly unusual, now you need to look at one of these. This is a helmet by a company called Schubert, which have recently been imported into the UK and now available for you to buy. Check this out. It's got loads of dimples and ridges on the lid there, aerodynamic assistance I believe. It's also beautifully designed, so sleek here with the visor pod. It's gorgeous. I think that is a tasty bit of kit. Now what amazes me is it's available at £140, which I think is decidedly cheap for something as stylish. But if you want something even more fancy because you want to show it off, check this one out. This baby has got the most strange clasp to hold you into your helmet I've ever seen before. You stick your bonds in the lid there and then you bring this chin piece back across and lock it into place. That is very, very unusual. Things like this have now become available because the parameters of safety have widened and the BSI approval and the European approval standards allow these sorts of fixings on your head. So there'll be more of this sort of unusual fastenings available in the future, but these guys have certainly started the ball rolling. £140 for the silver one and £160 for the fancy red one. Now it is true to say nowadays that a lot of the bike gear is quite expensive, so you would ideally like it to do two jobs. One, wear it on the bike, and the other one is wear it casual. But would you wear your casual jacket when you go down to the local cafe on the bike meet? Nah, you'd want to just go down in something casual, something like this nice denim. Yeah, fair enough then, I'm just going to wear my denim jacket. Yeah. But hang on a minute, you're saying to yourself, don't be foolish Wayne, you're not wearing protective clothing on the bike. Practice safe motorcycling. Well, the truth is this is safe because it's got some hidden secrets. In the elbows, in the shoulders and in the back, there's some protection. So we've got a bit of extra protection over and above the denim. As well as that, it's got a removable warm inner liner. So it's good in the summer and good in the winter. As well as that, it's actually got a waterproof liner. So I keep nice and dry as well and windproof. All for £135. Great, innit? So now the girls are thinking, what about me? It's not fair. No fear, ladies, because indeed there's one for the girls at £85 and a pair of pants at £99. Oh, they think of everything, don't they? So I think this one probably does fit me. Oh, thank you very much. See you later. Yet again, I'm working on a computer and I don't know what I'm doing. The trader comes into shows like this and he walks around and he'll buy helmets, gloves, boots to sell to you. He'll also arrange the workshop equipment. We've shown you that, so that he's got some nice fancy equipment in his workshop. He may indeed get a new finance deal so he's got better rates. But there's also one more thing he needs to organise, and that is his Bible. It's called the Glasses Guide. And Lisa over here is going to let me show you the Bible. This is one form of it, a little book like that, and in here gives all the information the dealer needs to know on how much your bike is worth, part exchange maybe, or straight buy, and how much you should sell it for. All sorts of information. Unfortunately no pictures, so it's no good to me. But they also do it in computer form, I believe. Thank you, Lisa. And there's the disc, so they can plumb it into their PC and get the information very, very quickly. Again, no pictures, so no good to me. So all that remains is for me to have a word with Lisa about the value of my pride and joy, my 1976 C90. It's got a bit of rust under the frame, so can you give me a valuation on it, please, Lisa?
Well, that's all from Two Wheels for this week, but on next week's show we've pulled out all the stops. We let Wayne loose on the 125. Yes, indeed we do. Also next week, the weather is starting to improve. You might be thinking of a biking holiday. You could be looking for a sports tourer. So I'll be taking a look at what Honda, Triumph and Ducati have to offer, and you can find out more on next week's show.